over in Oklahoma. Darren is calling. Hi, Darren. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast. How can I help?
Hey, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
My honor.
So I own a small digital marketing agency, and last year we did about $200K. This year we'll probably do about $300K. Have about 4 employees, and we mainly serve the home services industry like HVAC, plumbing, electrical contractors. But we're developing a new product that's going to serve a different and kind of much broader client base. And I'm curious, how do we keep those products separate kind of in the eyes of the consumer without causing too much division in our company and having to run 2 separate businesses? Because running one is hard enough, and I really don't want to run 2.
I hear you. Good question. So you're doing marketing, you have marketing services for HVAC, plumbing, the trades.
That's correct. Yeah. Web design.
In the digital setting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Correct.
They need it. They need your help. Okay, good. It's a good product. And the other product, who is the customer?
It's really any kind of busy business owner or busy executive. So it's going to be a virtual assistant product.
Okay.
And so that's much broader than the trades. I mean, they could benefit from it too, but our concern is, we don't want a HVAC company owner to land on our website and they're like, well, I thought these guys did marketing, and here they're talking about virtual assistant and vice versa.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think through. All right. One of the things that we, you're familiar in marketing, I'm sure, with whether you're a branded house or a house of brands.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what you're dealing with. And we went through a very specific exercise about 7 years ago on that and decided between the spectrum of those 2 ends of the spectrum where we were going to land, because we were both in a sense. I mean, in individual markets, we were a branded house, and yet the whole thing was a house of brands, because we've got like EntreLeadership sitting over here, and then on the other side over there we got Financial Peace University. I mean, those are 2 very completely different product lines. Serving 2 completely different markets. One's direct to consumer, one's business to business, right? And so, but they both exist under the heading and with the platform and the brand lift of Ramsey and all things Ramsey. So how are we going to reconcile all of that? One of the things we discovered was that we had to very clearly state that they were married, but not the same thing. We wanted everybody to know it was Ramsey, that the mothership it was tied to, but then with lots of clear narrative and enough graphics breakaway, and yet graphic tie-in that you could tell enough tie-in that you could tell it was a Ramsey thing, but enough breakaway that you could tell it was a different thing inside of Ramsey. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. And
so you've got to watch your look, tone, feel on your graphics and on your branding. And you've got to set your narrative up to where you say, because you want the benefit of the success of the mothership to help lift this. You don't want this thing to stand alone, start a new business. You said that.
Yeah.
And yet you don't want the confusion. And so what you're doing is a dance between the 2. We want enough tie-in that that we get the lift and we don't have to start a whole new business. And again, that's graphics and look, tone, feel to where you can say, oh, that is an Apple product. Oh, that's a Google product. Oh, that's a Ramsey product. EntreLeadership, when I look at the graphics and the fonts and the color schemes, they are standalone, and yet you can recognize them as being they're in the same family as the Financial Peace University group over in the B2C or the publishing arm with Ramsey Publishing or whatever. So that's what the dance we've been doing. And then we did the same thing with the copy. The copy had to fall in that same governance. And so we had to write copy that the narrative is, EntreLeadership is proudly Ramsey, and Ramsey is proudly EntreLeadership. And if you go through Financial Peace University, you don't need to be confused that EntreLeadership is a small business brand, and we help and lift and work with the same people you work with, small business people, right? And it's not Financial Peace University. It's not the same thing. And yet it's the same people at the core with the same kind of belief system, same kind of sass and sarcasm and attitude and love and compassion and truth-telling, you're still going to get all of that in both of these brands. And level of service and demand of excellence by the team and so forth. So you go to a B2C building wealth event, it needs to be a high-quality, well-produced event, just like if you go to an EntreLeadership event. It's got to be a high-quality, well-produced event. We're not, you have a sense that you're at a Ramsey event because we're one of the best event production companies in the nation right now. And so that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. But there is a dance here, and we found that we were violating that wholesale in that we had some areas we had it completely separate to where no one even knew it was Ramsey. And other areas, it was so intertwined that we were confused that it was actually a separate thing. So some of them we had too close on the house of brands. We had them so close that it looked like a branded house. And then some of the others we had too far apart. And so we had this constant rhythm where we're pushing some together and some apart to where we get them all about the same distance. And we do that with look, tone, feel, with narrative, with copy, with even marketplace approach, the sense of what's in the air when you're around. What do you smell when you're around? I mean, we really go all in on this to make sure that, yes, this is a Ramsey thing, but this specifically serves small business. It is not Financial Peace University. They're two different product lines. And we've got 10 or 15 different product lines inside the building that had to all conform to this new set of governance to keep that from happening. So Smart Dollar is to corporate America, right? That's the HR people all over America, from Costco to U-Haul down to businesses your size, are buying the equivalent of Financial Peace University, but for corporate America for their employees. We've got a high school curriculum, so Ramsey Education. But the teacher teaching Ramsey Education needs to know that the Foundations for Personal Finance class she's teaching to her kids is developed by the same people that develop EntreLeadership and that run Financial Peace University. So we want to tie in to the mother brand, but we don't want any confusion that this is a standalone education and it's well done with the benchmarks to meet the guidelines of the local school board. And so it's complicated as crud, but it's worth it to set it up right, because you're smart to do this on the front end, because we were limping along, couldn't figure out why we were limping. And we figured out that we were confusing our customer by not having governance over these things and pushing them together or pulling them further apart to create this exact dance the way we wanted it to go. So that's very cool. Very well done, Darren. I hope that helps you, but I don't know if I got there or not. But yeah, you're finding out what it is to have more than one product. And when you have more than one product, you're going to be doing this dance.